I'm getting old, my eyesight isn't perfect here. Good morning. Thank you for having us here today. It's such a pleasure to be among people who are as curious as we are about innovation, about AI and how it will impact the world in all the many ways that it can. And I want to thank the Dubai Future Foundation for the invitation. It's the second time we've been here, and it's wonderful to be here again. Thank you to Your Excellencies. We are so proud of the partnership that we have with you all and hope to continue to do so in the future. My name is Evelyn Miller. I'm a Vice President of Policy at Meta, and I oversee AI governance. Es un placer estar con ustedes hoy en Dubái en esta importante conferencia sobre inteligencia artificial generativa. I bet you're wondering why I'm speaking in Spanish. Well, I am a proud Latina, and any opportunity I have to speak in Spanish, I take it. But I also want to point out how amazing AI can be to make the language that I'm speaking accessible to you. Now, of course, Spanish is a language that most people speak, but consider for a moment languages that are unique to particular parts of countries that no other folks would speak. Well, we have a product, an AI product, called No Language Left Behind, which can seamlessly translate languages like Asturian, Urdu, and Lugandan, and many more. This is the way that AI can connect the world. People who don't speak your language, people who speak very unique languages, can be understood across the world. Let me make sure this is working. Okay, great. So, Meta's been around for a long time now, 15 years. I guess in modern times, 15 years is a lifetime. But it started out merely as one app, Facebook. Today, we have many, many apps and over 3 billion users across the globe. What we believe in? Connecting people, bringing people together, just as I mentioned, with languages. But we also want them to create and express their own content and themselves and their communities. And we've been using AI to enhance that experience for years. Today, many of our products are powered by AI. You'll notice here your personalized experience on Instagram and Facebook, that's powered by AI. In fact, I love AI on Instagram. It targets me in the way that it's perfect. I get all the fashion that I could ever possibly want, and I'm up to speed on all those things. But in order to really produce AI in a way that is useful and responsible, we follow very specific principles. Those are privacy, robustness and safety, fairness and inclusion, and transparency and control. For privacy, AI will continue to be part of our privacy review process. This is something that we use for every one of our products. It goes through an extensive privacy review through lawyers, policymakers, product developers to ensure that we are always keeping the privacy of our consumers in mind. We also consider fairness. This is extremely important in the AI world, as we all know. Meta commits to continue to address AI fairness through research, specifically through the creation of distribution of more diverse data sets, identifying new privacy protective approaches to help Meta access data that with potential meaningful measure of fairness, and we always test for fairness. We also think about transparency. Meta is committed to AI transparency and explainability through all the different measures like, am I seeing this? Why am I seeing this? And AI system cards. And that's an experience you have within our apps. We also have additional user transparency initiatives that explain how generative AI tools work from prompt to output. System cards are able to provide additional transparency on how Meta systems work. Basically, they provide the most critical information an app has. And you could be fully aware and focus on the features. It helps users understand what generative AI is and how it's being used to deliver whatever content is being delivered to you. Additionally, we have a slew of user education available via our various channels, including guides for teenagers, general education guides, and in-app experiences that notify the user of the different types of AI we're using. But AI innovation is more than just that. And as you know, most recently, our CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, announced at Connect all these different AI products that we're putting out. AI agents, AI Imagine, AI stickers, Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses, and Meta Quest 3. All of these will incorporate new AI. But let's zoom back out to take a better look at both the wider context of AI governance and what generative AI is and promises, before we talk about how the approaching responsible development of these new products Meta is taking. So first and foremost, Meta supports multi-stakeholder collective action initiatives for AI governance. We continue to consider different proposals across, oh, I'm sorry, I fast-forwarded here. Is that right? Sorry, it's not matching up to this. I'm a little bit confused. Forgive me for 1 second. I'm having a technology issue at a technology conference. There we go. We continue to consider proposals with different approaches to different regions, including the EU AI Act in Europe. In US, we have several initiatives across different states and on the federal level. We have Australia, we have Canada, we have Brazil, UK, and Singapore, as well as voluntary frameworks, such as the White House AI commitments in the US, Canada's voluntary code of conduct, and of course, that which is being negotiated right now this week, the G7 in Tokyo. There's an urgent need for government to work together to set a common AI standard. There has to be collective thinking around this issue to focus on spaces where there are gaps within existing frameworks. There are laws to address many of the issues that AI brings today, but there are gaps that we need to address together with governments, with industry, with society, with policymakers. Like other technological shifts, governments have an important role to play in helping to ensure AI is developed and utilized in a way that encourages innovation and enhances the economic and social benefits, while also putting in place the guardrails which we've discussed that are critical as you build new technologies. The topic of governance and regulation has come to the fore largely because AI has hit the mainstream. It continues to be the ever-present, exciting technology, which of course is the subject of this event. So generative AI. We know that foundation models have already sparked a new age of invention and ingenuity. They're a powerful tool that people can use to draw upon knowledge and apply it in ways to invent, create, and solve problems. Even some of the most significant challenges of today could be solved by AI. Well, will be solved by AI. We're talking about medical interventions and diagnoses, climate change, educational differentiators. Generative AI will be a huge impact on that. And that's why it's important that we make these models available openly. We congratulate the UAE on its release of the Falcon models and look forward to further exploring how we can work together to encourage people around the world to know about and to use AI in good in their communities. It is important that we make these models available openly. The benefits of AI should be felt by all of society, not just a handful of companies. With thousands of open source contributors working to make AI systems better, we can quickly find out and mitigate potential risk. We can make improvements. We can iterate and have better products in the market. We can't argue against the reality that open innovation approach has economic and benefit for so many people. Think about it. With open innovation, researchers, startup, small businesses are able to build upon source models, making new discoveries and building profitable businesses. It would be impossible without that resource to be able to do that. Open innovation and open sourcing meta tools and models allows us to share our technological advancements with the whole world. Without this approach, we wouldn't have been able to launch the Driving for Data for Good initiative here with your government. What is Driving Data for Good? For those unfamiliar, Meta's collaboration with the UAE government in the Driving for Data Good initiative involved open sourcing privacy-preserving data sets on population and mobility. This initiative utilized open source tools to provide real-time, aggregate public data across various sectors, aiding in optimized decision-making and it exemplifies how open source tools can empower data-driven initiatives for societal benefit and align with the UAE's vision for future leadership. We also support a COVID-19 study utilizing open source tools. During the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic, Meta's open source tools were extensively used by researchers at the United Arab Emirates University. These tools enabled a comprehensive analysis of COVID-19 interventions. It had a great impact on making sure that we could determine where the disease was being spread and where pharmaceutical interventions could be made. The study underscored the value of open source tools in providing critical data for this research and informing policy decisions, especially in times of crises. As you can see, we're committed to responsible open source models, and our flagship example of this is our release of Llama 2. Llama 2 is a foundational language model which can be adapted to a variety of tasks. I'm sure you're all very familiar with what this is. We've released it in 3 sizes, 7 billion, 13 billion, and 70 billion parameters. All 3 versions were trained on the same number of tokens, which means a measurement of the number of words that were used in the training. And the parameter size refers to the number of concepts the model has learned. So for example, 70 billion would mean that there are 70 billion concepts that were learned. By releasing the different sizes of Llama 2, we are enabling people to choose the model that is right for their intended use. So the 70 billion version, which is significantly larger and requires more resources, is also meant maybe for a more sophisticated developer. For many uses, a smaller version will be the right choice, as it will be the cheaper and faster to operate. And its relatively lower capability won't adversely impact its usage. For that reason, selecting the most appropriate version of the model will depend on the use case. We've seen a lot of momentum and innovation with more than 30 million downloads of the Llama-based models through Hugging Face, and over 10 million of these in the last 30 days alone. That's a huge number. Much like PyTorch, Llama has evolved into a platform for the world to build on, and we could not be more excited about that. We're even more excited to see exactly what will be made out of the Llama models. We're seeing now text summation, sentiment analysis, and question answering, and more. But the world is out there, and it's going to create amazing things. Releasing Llama models openly is about collaboration and learning. By sharing our models with the world, we can get feedback from the community, learn from their insights, and improve our models accordingly. Think about that for a moment. If we have millions of people dedicated to testing this model, the information that we can garner is way beyond scope of anything that we could do internally. We then take that information and we make improvements on this model, only to put it out there again and build on it again. This is all a benefit to the community, to the society, and to the folks who will be using these models. We have a broad range of collaborators around the world who believe in the approach to today's AI open innovation. From companies that have given early feedback and have been excited to build with us Llama 2, to cloud providers that will include the model as part of their offering to customers, and researchers committed to doing research with the model. There are people across tech, academia, policy, and that see the benefits of Llama and an open platform as we do. And they're all here. Well, many more, obviously, but here are some of them. But of course, releasing Llama 2 through open innovation requires a balanced approach. We released Llama 2 with various accompanying artifacts, which support responsible use, including a responsible use guide, a model card, and a research paper. The Responsible Use Guide, one of a kind, provides an overview of how Llama was developed and has extensive information about the safety mitigations that we've put in place. We think this guide will be useful to a range of audiences, including developers who want to use Llama and policy professionals who want to learn more about the process of building Llama with safety as a priority. The Responsible Use Guide is an overview of the responsible AI considerations that go into developing generative AI tools. They're essentially the roadmap for developers to figure out exactly how to build and where the mitigation points are in that development. It explains how Llama 2 was developed in a language that is accessible to non-experts, and we hope that the policy professionals will find it an informative resource to learn about Llama 2 and the steps we have taken to develop it responsibly. It also provides instructions on fine-tuning, including best practices for building responsibly at each stage of development, with a focus on the levels of data, fine-tuning, inputs, prompt engineering, outputs, evaluations and integrity, and user interactions. We would want anyone to be able to look and learn about the model who has no background in it and understand fine-tuning as they read this section. In addition to technical documentation, Llama 2 underwent several red teaming exercises. If you don't know what red teaming is, it is a systematic effort to identify model vulnerabilities or emergent risks by crafting prompts that may elicit undesirable behavior. This is a type of manipulation of the model that can be used to test safeguards and attempt to jailbreak the model. We ran red teaming internally and with external experts, including at DEF CON 2023. The responsible use guide includes instructions for developers for further red teaming during fine-tuning, including advice on red teaming best practices. You need to include a diverse set of people from a range of professional backgrounds that are representative of a broad group of potential users and demographics. You have to ensure subject matter experts judge the model responses based on their familiarity with the identified risk categories, and we suggested regular testing to determine whether or not mitigation against attacks are effective. But more than just presenting all the documentation and artifacts with Llama 2, we also understand the importance of having research community come together to foster innovation, to question, and to design. By joining this community, participants will have the chance to contribute to a research agenda that addresses the most pressing challenges in the field. And we will work together to develop and innovate better AI and responsible AI. We believe that bringing together diverse perspectives and expertise, we can accelerate the pace and progress in AI research. We also believe in a generative AI community forum. With so much hyperbole surrounding the debate on AI, it's important for tech companies to be open about the work they're doing and find ways to bring it to people and bring it into the process. That's why we are launching a community forum on generative AI, aimed at producing feedback at the principles people want to see reflected in new AI technologies. The community forum will be held in consultation with the Stanford Deliberative Democracy Lab and the Behavioral Insights team, and is consistent with our open collaboration approach to sharing AI models. In another exciting development, and something that I'm extremely proud of, we have just announced a series of grants for nonprofit and research institutions to innovate in use of our Llama 2 model. Specifically, we hope to support organizations to use our open code for applications in education, environment, and open innovation. The application is open now and will be closed November 15th, and we encourage anyone, members of our nonprofit and research community, to apply. We will continue our long practice of working together across governments and industries, along with all of you here, and AI experts in academia and civil society to generate workable solutions and trustworthy models, just as you do here at the Dubai Future Foundation. One of the key ways in which we are collaborating and partnering with stakeholders around the world is through our Open Loop program. In 2021, we launched Open Loop, a global initiative that brings together governments, AI startups, experts, academia, and civil society representatives to help develop and test forward-looking tech policies through policy prototyping programs. Think of this as a pre-regulatory sandboxing exercise. We've deployed a number of programs across the world, from Singapore to Mexico, where we partnered with regulators to respectively test and create frameworks on AI transparency and explanation. In Europe, we were able to deploy the largest policy prototyping program with more than 50 AI startups with respect to the EU AI Act. We are currently in the planning stages of the most ambitious program to date, and you'll have to stay tuned for updates on exactly what that is. One thing is for certain, the generative AI space moves rapidly. Every day it's changing, conversations are changing about the technology, conversations are changing about the regulation, the frameworks, and the principles. And we are all learning together about the capabilities and the applications of this technology. But Meta remains committed to the open approach for today's AI. Here are a few of the ways that we will focus on continuing this journey together. First, focusing on multimodal. Just as the world isn't made up of entirely text, AI can embrace new modalities to enable even more immersive generative experiences, like voice and audio. We will continue safety and responsibility. Generative AI has revitalized the world of responsible AI. It has made it the forefront of most of the work that we are doing. We will place even greater emphasis on safety and responsibility, developing new tools, building partnerships, and utilizing Llama as a vehicle for our community to continue to learn about how to build safety responsibly. And finally, a focus on community, just as we mentioned. Much like PyTorch, we see this as a community of developers that have a voice, and we want to give them agency and a vehicle to further their innovation. We aim to provide new ways for the community to showcase work, contribute, and tell their stories. We are proud of what we've achieved with Llama so far, but we know that there is still a lot more to explore. That's why we invite you to join us on this journey of innovation and impact. You can download the model with Llama 2, the latest version of our model that has an even more improved performance, given all of the feedback we've received, and capabilities. And you can visit our website to learn more about our partners that support the Llama ecosystem. Thank you for your attention today. I know there was a lot to take in, and I appreciate you being here, listening to these important points that we want to make, and hope that we can together partner and contribute through the AI journey that most of us are taking part in. Thank you.